My dad was an avid reader, so it was always, and in retrospect, I recall always books on the shelf and so forth, and always looking things up and so forth. But he always encouraged education, always encouraged reading. He never pushed it, and I really didn't know what it was like at that point to think about college and and careers and what opportunities there might be. The thing they always talked about was something that you were passionate about. And it's interesting because he had to take what opportunity he had, meaning he could pick up becoming an electrician, and I don't think ever got to actually ask himself, my father, what am I most passionate about? But he always talked about doing what you're passionate about and doing what would make a difference. Anyway, in terms of what we could afford, it was only a community college at that point, County College of Morris. And I remember, that was an opportunity to kind of explore and test things out and so forth. And I have to admit, that's where I had a particular interest in biology and health care and started to have those types of thoughts. When I was in college, I've never heard the term first gen. And still, I think right now, a lot of people don't understand the fact that it has certain implications. You might not have readily at hand in day-to-day discussions with, family and friends, enough discussion about college and education. I mean, when I first started out, I was interested in biology and science. Never dreamed that I would go and become a physician. I just didn't know the path. And so, there are many science-related fields. I didn't have an understanding of the many science-related fields. And so I think that, having that kind of understanding, a broadening of what the student sees and hears related to opportunities and process are just absolutely critical. And we do that here in many different ways in terms of counseling, many different programs. I would say the other thing that's really important, and it always makes me think, is the importance of mentorship and guidance for any student, and certainly for first-gen students. Who do they rely on that really cares about them? So I think in many respects, it's given me kind of an excitement and a passion to look at the programs that we have and the opportunities that we have for these students and understand how they could engage, but then feel and understand that whoever they're engaging with really cares about them and they have a place to go on a regular basis. I think that when you think about what's going on in this world in so many different ways, it's got more and more complex. And with greater complexity, I think it requires greater expertise in many different disciplines, many different areas. And I do think that, the more we can do that and provide that workforce, for Kentucky and beyond, the better we'll do in just so many different areas. Many first-gen students in most are just very humble, and they probably don't realize fully what they've accomplished. And I just always hope for them that they realize how impressive it really is to be where they are at that point.